Johnson trial. She's the mother from Tempe accused of kidnapping her own baby, Baby Gabriel. Bizarre situation. ABC 15's Kimberly Chang live outside the Maricopa County Superior Court. Kimberly, a jury could start deliberating as early as today, so this court case may be wrapping up. Still, nobody's seen this baby for 3 years now.
For 3 years, Kirk, exactly. Now, closing arguments are set to start at 10:30, and just depending on how quickly things go in the courtroom this morning, the jury could deliberate as early as today. I want to bring in Scott Halverson. He's a criminal defense attorney who's not involved in this case, but can provide us with some great perspective on what's been happening inside of the courtroom. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Kimberly.
First, I want to ask you, yesterday, Elizabeth Johnson decided not to take the stand in her own defense. How is this going to sway the jury, in your opinion?
Well, you always are concerned as a defense attorney about a decision like that, because in the back of the jurors' minds you're worried that they might be wondering if she's innocent. Why didn't she get up there and tell us? But there are jury instructions, and the law requires the jury to follow them, that instruct them to not consider that the fact that she didn't testify in any respect during their deliberations. It's just improper to do so because the burden of proof is on the state.
Now, the closing arguments are set to start this morning. What are we going to hear from the defense and from the state today as they wrap it up?
Well, I think you'll hear from the state that they have met each of their elements of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And they'll go through each one of those and present the evidence that they say supports that. Mark Victor will try to make sure the jury remembers that the burden of proof rests on the state, and he did not have to produce evidence. The fact that he didn't cross-examine witnesses very thoroughly, the fact that he didn't present any witnesses in the defense case, plays into his whole strategy and his whole theory to keep that focus on the state's burden of proof.
Mark Victor, of course, is Elizabeth Johnson's defense attorney. Really quickly, if she's found guilty by this jury, how much time is she looking at?
Well, if the jury finds that she's committed a dangerous crime against children, the sentence could be anywhere between 10 and 24 years in prison, and that being served as flat time. So, but if it's not a dangerous crime against children, then the sentence is 3 to 12.5 years.
Wow, Scott, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing that insight. And Kirk, as you mentioned, the baby Gabriel went missing back in 2009, hasn't been seen since. The police did do a search of a landfill. The body was never found, but we've heard time and time again that in this trial, at least, that really doesn't play a role. Elizabeth Johnson is charged with kidnapping and custodial interference.
Yeah, bizarre case considering all those circumstances. We'd like to just find out where the baby went. Thank you for that, Kimberly. Susan, the latest on the situation of that 10-year-old